Hi Aya and everyone else who is watching. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mina and I'm a first year med student living in Los Angeles. And in this video, the Halloween celebrations are going to continue from last week, so I'm really excited. Also, like, trigger warning, I guess, I'm going to talk about blood a lot in this video because I'm in my hematology block right now in school, so if that bothers you, then I will see you next week. Okay, hi guys. I am about to go donate blood, but I'm like 15 minutes early to my appointment, so I thought I would talk to you guys a little bit about why I'm like weirdly excited about this. I've never donated blood before, but right now we're in our hematology unit, and for those of you who don't know, hematology is the study of blood, and so we've had lectures on transfusion medicine, and it just got me curious about the process, I guess. Blood transfusions are regulated by the FDA like other medical treatments, right? But unlike most other medical treatments, blood is one of the few things that isn't synthesized in a factory. We have yet to find a way to perfectly replicate human blood, even though that's something our bodies do every day, hopefully easily. But yeah, I thought I would sort of document what the process is like, because it is spooky season after all, and what's spookier than blood, so it just like fits so perfectly in my Halloween vlog. But I also just think, like, if anyone else is curious about donating blood, maybe this will just get you thinking about that a little bit more. I fortunately am not afraid of like needles or blood, but I do find it really interesting when people are. Basically, like, people have all kinds of phobias, but there are some that are more common than others, and there are some that are easier to learn and harder to unlearn. That sort of observation makes scientists think that there might be an evolutionary basis to certain phobias. For example, a fear of heights, a fear of the dark, a fear of snakes, a fear of spiders. Those are some that scientists believe there's an evolutionary basis for. What I think is really interesting, though, is the fear of blood and needles, specifically people's reactions to seeing blood. Fainting and passing out is particularly common in response to blood and needles. Why? What could be evolutionarily advantageous about like blacking out when you see needles and blood? Like, that reaction is not as common with snakes, for example, or heights. Well, one theory is that our bodies may have learned that when you see blood, it might mean that you're bleeding, and so in reaction to that, our body lowers our blood pressure to try to lessen the blood loss. I just think that's so funny. Obviously that theory is a very difficult one to like confirm, but anyways, that's a little fun fact for you. It is now time for my appointment, so I will make sure to share what my experience is like. Okay, I am home from donating blood. I would say it went pretty smoothly. It took a little longer than I thought it would because when I first went in, my heart rate was kind of high, so they had to wait for it to go down before I could actually donate blood. But otherwise, like, 10 out of 10 experience, would do again. And now it is time for me to continue studying before the Halloween festivities begin. Okay, for the past like 2.5 years, Juno has been living with me rent-free, and I'm okay with that. But today is like the one day of the year where she's gonna pay her rent to me, and she's gonna do that by letting me put her in a Halloween costume. I promise it will only be for a little bit, but it's Halloween, I have to do it. All right, costume number 1. Juniper, what do you think? I thought this was perfect because I call her Chicken sometimes. That's her nickname. Okay, that was actually pretty easy. Are you purring? Oh my goodness. Hi, my perfect chicken.
Oh.
Oh no. No more chicken hat. There you go. Okay, and then I also got her some Halloween themed toys because I knew she would be mad at me, so this is sort of to make up for that. Happy Halloween! Look it! Also, for all of my fellow students out there, if any of you guys would be down to join me for a long distance study session of sorts, I am thinking of starting a Twitch so that I can do weekly study session live streams. I'm not going to advertise it super widely at first, we'll keep it small, but if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, link is in the description. Alright, time to start getting ready. I'm very excited. Honestly, my costume is like nothing that crazy. Just to temper your expectations, but I am still very excited for tonight. I finished doing my hair. And as I'm getting ready, I'm gonna have to share with you some fun facts, specifically about bats, because I've been learning a lot about bats recently, and like, they're kind of insane, you guys. Like, for example, did you guys know that 20% of mammals on Earth are bats? Like, if you were to randomly select a mammal from anywhere on Earth, there's a 20% chance that it's going to be a bat. I mean, I guess they're small and they live in huge colonies, so there's going to be more bats than like giraffes, for example, and they also live for a really long time. I feel like if 20% of mammals on Earth are bats, like, I should be seeing them more. Where are they? And I guess because of how many bats there are, they're pretty diverse. The smallest species type of bat is called the bumblebee bat. Adorable. And it's about the same weight as a dime. Like, so tiny. And then the biggest bat has a wingspan of 5.5 feet. That's like basically my height. It's genuinely terrifying. I don't know what I would do if I saw a bat with a wingspan of 5.5 feet flying at me. I'd probably cry. Doing eyeliner when I'm gonna go out stresses me out so much. It feels so high pressure. Anyways, more on bats. Both bird and bat poop have been known to be really good sources of nitrates, which is good for fertilizers. So in places like Peru, where there's a lot of caves and bats, people used to literally collect the bat poop and use it as a fertilizer to like grow crops, I guess. But then people discovered another use for bat poop, and that is gunpowder. Basically, gunpowder requires nitrates, and before people were creating like synthetic chemicals and stuff like that, bat poop was like the best natural source for nitrates. So there was an actual real industrial demand for bat poop. Anyways, if I've not made it obvious enough, me and my roommate are going to be dressing up as bats for Halloween. So now that I'm done with my makeup, basically, I'm going to change and then I'll hit you back. But I think I might just end up doing that. Anyways, my final bat fun fact for you. Obviously, vampires and bats are linked, and there actually are bats that drink blood. They're called vampire bats, and they've evolved to become very efficient at drinking blood. Basically, in your blood you have these things called coagulants, and they basically clump up and thicken your blood to stop bleeding, so that way you don't bleed out from like a paper cut. Vampire bats, in their saliva, they have anticoagulants, so that when they bite animals, drink their blood, that anticoagulant in their saliva prevents their blood from like clotting too quickly and allows there to be more blood flow. On top of that, saliva also contains an anesthetic and a vasodilator. Anesthetic so that when a vampire bat goes to bite an animal, they don't feel the pain of it, and so they don't like notice that the bat's biting them for longer. And then the vasodilator to keep their blood vessels dilated or open to prevent them from constricting. So the vasodilator and the anticoagulant basically like maximize blood flow so that they can drink the blood as efficiently as possible. Oh, and that anticoagulant, you know what it's called? Draculin. And I think that's the coolest part.
I kind of just snap that out.
Okay. And Juno is Dracula. Here, wait, let's get a family photo. You can come. Oh no!
Wait, I feel like I need to zoom back.
Okay, hi guys, it is the next morning. I had a very lovely time last night. I was actually at my friend from high school's apartment. It was a very lovely night, except I did get this like weird prank call from this guy I used to tutor. I don't know, maybe it was like a Halloween thing, but I didn't think that like grown adults did that. So anyways, I hope you guys had a lovely Halloween, and Aya, I hope you also had a blast. I did love your costume. And yeah, Aya, TLDR, blood is like low-key really cool. But you know what's cooler? Donating blood, assuming of course that you don't have a phobia of blood and needles. And oh, I have a question. How many real vampires do you think there are? The answer is none, unless you count Dracula. Anyways, here's your goodbye kiss from Juno.